Nice to hear you. Good signal up here. You're coming in very, very well. 5.9 plus. So we've got some pretty good conditions this morning. And just turned the rig on here a few minutes ago. Starting to sleep in a little bit now that the sun is coming up so much later. We got another, I guess about another 45 minutes or more before the sun pops up here. So starting to get to those wintertime conditions. So looking forward to hearing some check-ins from a lot further away. And like I said, good signal, Ted. You're the only one I've heard except for W3MMR, who just tried to check in, Perry. So I'll put it over to, as you said, W1NZR. I imagine you can hear me, most likely, Brown in Rhode Island. Go ahead, Brown. This is VY2WW, Old Military Radio Net.
Let me pick Perry up. W3MMR, go ahead.
I believe he is done transmitting, Ted. Do you want me to pick it up? W3PW, W3MMR. Nothing heard, so I'll stand by. W3MMR.
want no bills. So, yeah, they're paid for. So I'm excited, you know. It did rejuvenate the hobby for me. Just a whole nother technical arena of things that I didn't know. So it's slow going. You know, I'm still relatively a young whippersnapper, so I could tell everybody I think it's my duty to learn this stuff and maybe rescue some of it and then pass it down to the next group of youngsters. I think that's important part of the hobby is not only the new, which I'm not really into the new. I'm kind of more into the old. I guess I was born a few years too late, but yeah, it was the heyday. I mean, you look at any of it, even the military stuff, even this T3 this was the heyday. I mean, we made this stuff here, and you just don't see that anymore. And any amateur radio equipment that now you see is pretty much coming from across the ocean. So, you know, even more so of a reason to hang on to this stuff. It's legacy, but I mean, it's so cool when it works. Now, when it doesn't work, yeah. I'll have to pass it along. I'll beat my head against the bench for a while and then pass it along to somebody who knows a little bit better. And it always amazes me, you know, you pass it to somebody and they fix it in 10 minutes and you shake your head like, you know, I've been working on this for 3 days and haven't got anywhere. So that's part of honoring. You know, and that's a whole other facet of the hobby. You know, there's a lot of sharp old buzzards out there that unfortunately we're losing every day, and the vast amount of knowledge that they learn, you know, or they have, really needs to be passed down to the next generation of guys. So, you know, that would be a great thing to have a workshop with a bunch of old buzzards showing us what behind the ear kids how to do it. Yeah, so I did the whole military collecting thing, and that collection's all downstairs. So, and she doesn't mind. You know, I went through a divorce, so and bought the house back. So you know, you can imagine what a midlife bachelor pad looks like, and this is it. This is it, definitely. It's all things that I enjoy because life's too short to worry about anything else. So. I love it, and I'm going to continue to do it as long as I can here. So, yeah, the GRC 106 is that's a great unit. You know, I picked that up out in New Jersey and brought it home, fired it all up, and it works great. The receiver's unbelievable. So, you're right, Glenn. I think I'm going to hold on to that one. I probably shouldn't part with it so soon. But, yep, looking forward to getting this big, it's not big. I mean, you know, Robert did a really good job in designing that 21B2, and it's got that Art Deco look that I just, I don't know, I'm enamored by that look from that era. It's in that old Motorola cabinet. And those chrome strips, something about those chrome strips. I think when I look at it, it looks like a 57 Chevy with the fins. So I'm excited to get it here. And now the next thing is what receiver do you match with it, you know? I'm thinking a Collins would look really good with it, but we'll see what happens there. So, yep, the party will happen next weekend, and there's a lot to do still yet. So, very excited. So, good to hear everybody. Conditions are changing. I'm going to keep it short here and pass it back to you, Ted, if you're still hearing me. I'm hearing you off and on. So, good to hear you this morning, Ted, and everybody on the net. W3PWW, the old military radio net. This is KB3RHR.
Okay, Craig, very good. Good copy, that's and the other signal went down. Those very marginal now. We're going to kind of down into the noise. Okay, next up is KBCHP, N1DPY, BY2WW, and W3MMR. I don't think I'd like to him this past round, but the Brown, if you would, the W3MMR when the return comes up. KBCHP, go ahead, this is W3TWW.
changing around. A good receiver for a 20V with, well, I don't know. Depends on where you're going to use it. 51J4 or 75A4. Something like that. With the matching colors there. Storm, about almost 3 inches of rain and very heavy wind. There were some trees down in the area, and unfortunately, there, so we didn't have any issues with that. Very, very strong winds for, probably close to 24 hours. So, other projects here, I still want to move up with. To you, Ernie, N1 GTY, the old Northland KD3HT, hopefully you found it over.
I don't think he heard you, Steve. Yeah, W3 PWW KD3HT finished his transmission and attempted to turn it over to, I think it was N1GZY, but I'm not positive about the call sign, Ted. Over. Somebody said relay. Who's the relay? Okay, I can hear you. Ted, can you hear me? Ted, W3PWW, I have a relay check-in.
Let's see here. Yeah, we had quite a bit of rain here last week, too, and there's still low power outages down on the coast. They got worse winds than we did. Ours were bad enough, so we had little blips of power outages, but nothing that lasted. So I didn't get on the radio much at all yesterday because of that. I didn't want to kind of had on the rigging there. You know, you get power bumps. So I just left everything off and waited till the wind went down. And let's see. It's going to be a pretty good day here. Cold, but cool, not cold. That's coming. But I guess it's going to be fairly good, fairly good weather for people who want to get outside. So that's good. That's good. Tell me, I'm gonna stick inside here and maybe get on a couple more tests. See if I can round up pit can. I haven't done that yet. They've got an expedition down there. I thought I'd wait till near the end of it, and maybe I can get it. Maybe the pilots wouldn't be so great. Who knows? So there you go. Let's see. I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything I missed here. So, Ted, I missed who you said to turn it to. I was doing something else when you went through the list there, so I'm going to turn it back up to you, and you can take it wherever it goes. W3PWW and the old military radio net, M1GTY.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize there was a station transmitting. I heard absolutely nothing, which is very unusual. He must be close to me. W3EMD was trying to check in, Ted, in New York. That's Whiskey 3 Echo Mike Delta. Asked me to relay that in New York for a check-in, and I will pass it to Terry. Yeah, okay, got a couple reports here. You're 20 over there, Ted. W1NZR Brown, you're 10 over. N1SNG is plus 15. KB3HT is plus 15. I walked away to get a cup of coffee and I missed KB3RHR. And N1, I didn't hear N1GZY. Anyway, very good. You guys are coming in real well into Prince Edward Island. And the band is very, very long. I don't even know, trying to figure out where GZY would be. My goodness, must be really close. But anyway, maybe Maine. Anyway, the skip zone works in my favor, being at least 250 miles from the nearest state. I think the closest air miles to me is HLR. And I think he's about 300 miles, air miles, maybe a little more. I don't remember. But anyway, very good. The band is doing its transitional thing into the winter months, that's for sure. And come next weekend, we'll be having to get up. Let's see here. It'll be an hour lighter, I think. Let me think about that for a second. You have to spring forward and you have to fall back, right? So you turn the clocks back. Well, right now, it'll be an hour later. Right now, it'll be only, let's see, so a fall back. So what, 6:24 my time? My goodness. So only have been going for 24 minutes, and we'll be getting into probably into situations out instead of the skip layer taking signals out. So just always changing things. Well, very good. There's not a whole lot of news here. We still haven't had a hard freeze, although it's coming. They're even calling for a little bit of snow next weekend. So we've been very blessed with weather this fall. It's been great. And I've gotten a few things done, but I've got a lot more I want to do outside. So I'm hoping it'll hold on a little longer. And that's all I have for right now. Let me get it over to Perry, W3MMR, and I hope you got that check-in I relayed there, Ted. W3MMR and the old military radio net, Victor Yankee 2 Whiskey Whiskey.
VY2WW in the old military radio net. This is W3MMR. Well, good morning to you, John. Sounding great coming out of Prince Edward Island this morning from the cold country of Canada. You're the channel master here at the QTH, copying you direct at about 20 over S9. So you're definitely you're coming in great, and yes, the band is very long. And that was N1GTY, November 1 Golf Tango Yankee, that you could not hear, John, and he is in the state of Maine. I'm not sure where in Maine, but I do remember he is in the state of Maine. So he is a little bit too close to copy for you. Ted, you are starting to come up here at the QTH a tad. You're a little easier to copy than you were at 5 a.m. this morning. You're about I'd say about an S9. My noise floor is about a between an S8 and an S9. So you're right above the noise floor, so I can make out about 75% of what you're saying. Besides that, I'm not really copying too many folks direct, nor am I copying them on the WebSDR. I was able to pick up Steve, KD3HT, on the Georgia WebSDR. I was able to copy him there, but everyone else, I'm jumping up and down like James Brown trying to find a WebSDR to copy folks on. It's just a weird morning here on 75 meters. But with the time change, things should improve, because since we fall back, so right now it would be 5:30, but the band would be, quote unquote, at 6:30 conditions. So right now, with it, if it was 6:30 in the morning, the band would be at 7:30 a.m. Conditions. So things should improve here for the net next weekend, I would hope. But then, excuse me, but then again, if you operate in the evening times like myself, the bands will go longer, earlier. I don't get home from work until 6 o'clock, so generally the band will probably be long already by the time I get home, so I don't think there's going to be too much evening operating for me anymore here on 75 meters, and so that gives me a little more motivation to get my 160 meter antenna situation figured out here, so I could get on 160 meters. Anyway, I was copying Craig, KB3RHR, a little direct, but he was bombing into the QIX WebSDR. I forgot to mention that. So he was very, very strong into Steve's WebSDR this morning. But nevertheless, it is 33.6 degrees here in southeastern Pennsylvania, Chester, Pennsylvania, 7 miles southwest of Philadelphia. We are on the Anon 200D SDR this morning using an AL80BX amplifier running about 175 watts of carrier into a 600 ohm ladder line fed doublet, 125 foot doublet up about 60 feet. So there's the operating conditions here. We had some wind and storms. I don't know how. Hopefully everybody fared well for the storms that rolled through here yesterday evening. We had an EF2 tornado about 10 miles to the west of us here in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. And then they had a report of 110 mile an hour straight line winds in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles from here, north of here. So we got walloped pretty good, but my antenna was spared. No damage here to any of my antennas. The Yagi's still on the roof. The wire antennas are still in the trees, and we're a happy camper. So anyway, back up to you, Ted. I'll stick in here for a while, and hopefully things improve. W3 PWW in the old military radio net. This is W3 MMR.
Signal went back down again. Probably John up there too, and you want to go that way. Next up is W3 Echo Mike Delta. Go ahead.
Go ahead, W3END.
Did he turn it to me? This is Whiskey 3 Echo Mike Delta.
He sure did.
Roger, good morning. I can't hear him at all. Way below the noise level. In about another half hour I can't. Good morning. My name is Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, Buzz like a buzzsaw. And I only occasionally check in when I'm here at my shack using an ART-13, Dynamotor-powered ART-13. Can hear the dynamotor in the background. The receiver is military, but not old. It's a Collins 851 S1. Collins 851 from the 1980s. And here in eastern New York State, near the town of Rhinebeck, like the River Rhine in Germany, B-E-C-K, Rhinebeck. That's 100 miles north of New York City, 100 miles up the Hudson. temperature's about 37 degrees at the moment. So let me turn it over to Prince Edward Island station, and you can turn it back to net control. This is Whiskey 3 Echo Mike Delta.
Oh, he finished up, Ted.
Yeah, I'll go down here with him. Had a freeze warning and didn't have time to lost some of the largely we got the best of it this year. It's not like good to the afternoon. First to get down to place the camp and all the crazy. That's pretty cool. Maybe it's some of the places in cool. Okay, this is WC2WW.
There was a WB2 I just began to hear, but he stopped transmitting, I think trying to check in. Who's the WB2?
That's probably WB2.
Yeah, I'm not hearing him very well. It sounded like he said WB2 something hotel something. What was it again? You want to try it again? Okay, I got it. It's WB2 Hotel Japan Kilowatt HJK. Over. K3HVG, that's Ruth. I heard him. Yeah, I did hear him. Yes, he did.
Keep it here. She'll be on frequency. And we'll have a couple of minutes to do that. Back to you, W32WW.
Over.
W2J8.
WB2HJK, it's your turn.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, it's your turn. Go ahead, HJK. I'm not sure he's hearing me now. I think he said I'm the only one he's hearing. Okay. Well, we got us a very, very long band. Anyway, I don't think he wants a turn right now, Ted. W3PWW, VY2WW.
Okay, John, very good. Yeah, it's real cool here. Not as much weather study. Some of that's coming out of this part from down south. Conditions of this part, we're coming in pretty well. Starting to close up, I think, in Maine, we're coming in very well. We're down here W3EMD also. So conditions are screwy again, John. And yeah, this would be 5:30. Next week it would be 5:30. It'll be 5:30. I don't know whether that's good or bad because the band didn't seem to straighten out too much at all. I can't really hear the New England guys, but stations like KD2HT and did not comprehend all of that, and also KD2RHO is not that good. I didn't hear him, but I lost words now and then. Okay, let's try this. We'll go back up to the top. Try to make one more round here before we have to sign out. So let's try W1NZR, 1SNG, KD2OHR, KD2HT. W3Y, V1CWW, W3NMR, and W3ND and KCHDG, and the WDT W1NZR, W3PWW. Go ahead, Good Brown.
Hey, go ahead, Brown.
Yeah, okay, Glenn, N1SNG and the old military radio net, KB3RHR. Well, very good. Good morning to everybody I haven't said hello to. A lot of guys jumped in there. That's a good thing. I can see the propagation is about ready to change. Glenn, you dropped down and came back up like gangbusters, so I'm sure the switch, the propagation purgatory is about ready to happen. So I'll make it short and I'll make it last. So yeah, Brown, I do know. I remember those nets now that you brought it up. That was in my big military radio collecting days. I do remember getting in there. So we're gonna have to check it back out. And I got a feeling it's going to be a massively huge bad winter. So there'll be a lot of indoor activities to do this year. So I'll drag it back out, and that's the ultimate boat anchor because I keep it all together in a cabinet. So I'll have to drag it back out and get it all back on the air and use it. And can only concur with you, Glenn. Yep, the old assembly lines. Boy, that's a thing of the past. It's amazing how everything is transformed. And I tell everybody, when my rice boxes are in the landfill, these old girls will still be running. So part of the history of amateur radio. Anyways, I got to get cracking here, but it's great to hear everybody this morning, and you guys are all doing a fine business job here in southwestern PA. So Ted, I appreciate you running the net. Good to hear everybody this morning, and best of 73 from down here in southwestern PA. W3PWW in the old military radio net. This is KB3RHR, and I'm gonna go have some more coffee and then start the day. Over to you, Ted. Thanks for running the net.
Okay, Craig. All right, let's start.
Go ahead, Steve. Yeah. Goes to N1 GTY.
N1 GTY, go ahead. Next up is John, BYQWW, WKMMR, WKEMD, KKHCG, and WB2 station, WWB2HCG. That's the next control. John, that's you. Go on. In here, guys. WWW.
Okay, and there's a relay for you there, Ted. AJ1G, Chris checking. Very good. Boy, signals are popped up on some of you guys, and I heard Ernie really good, plus 20 dB, Ernie. I didn't hear you at all last transmission. Completely in my skid zone, and I talked over you inadvertently. But you're 20 over now. And full copy on W3 EMD. I think also, I believe I gave you that check-in buzz. Let's see, HVG was still coming in. WB2HJK, pretty good copy there. And then still great copy on you, Perry, W3TWW, although the QSB is starting to take effect. And boy, I hope my Anon 200 sounds as good as yours. You sound like a broadcast station. Very good, Brown. Yeah, Glenn, N1SNG, you're up to 20 over now. So the band is back and forth. There is some QSB in there, but it's a little bit back and forth. Anyway, good to hear everybody, and it will indeed be a different game next week. Let's see, this time next week, you guys will be, let's see, I guess, let's see, it'll be just about into your second hour, so hopefully at least the first hour will be a little chaotic, maybe, but the second hour should start to get a little more stable. Anyway, I'll get it over to you there, and I'm supposed to turn it over to W3MMR, I believe, with the Old Military Radio Net, VY2WW, Prince Edward Island. Okay, I don't know if anybody else heard that. That's KK1K checking in. KK1K, Ted. Go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, VY2WW. The Old Military Radio Net. This is W3MMR. Good morning to you, Dean, KK1K. Pretty decent copy on you here, coming into the Anon 200D here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Conditions seem to be improving a tad. Not great, though. But this is going to be my last my last transmission here, guys. I have to start getting ready to go to the old salt mine. I leave here around 7:30 to head to work there. Saturdays I only work till 4 o'clock, so not till the normal 6. So we're happy about that, and get home and get back on here and start doing some more operating. We have a sickness, fellas. We're all sick. I'm a single man. I'm a bachelor, so I just have my dog and my radios. That's all. And my family. That's all that really matters to me in life, you know. And it's great having a father who's into ham radio as well. So anyway, 7-3 to you, Craig, KB3RHR. Great copy on you via the W1QIX web SDR this morning. Sound great. Thank you for the compliments, John. VY2WW on my Anon here. I'm just using a Shure SM7B microphone and the built-in processing, the CFC audio tools that comes with Power SDR, and the split band, 10 band EQ, and the 10 bands of compression there, and I use it in combination with the transmit EQ as well to cut out some of the muddiness, to notch out the mud frequencies, from 130 hertz to about 110 hertz. I notch those out to get some of that muddiness out of there. But nevertheless, I love this rig. It's a staple here. It's one that I'm probably never going to get rid of. The only reason that I'll get rid of it is to upgrade to a 7000 or an 8000. But I bought this 200D off my father over a year ago now, when he upgraded to a 7000. So I've been loving it and enjoying it ever since. But I'd like to hopefully conditions start to improve here in the mornings, and I'll hop over on the NC3, or excuse me, the DX100 and the NC303, and start operating that here in the mornings. Especially now, since I have a spare computer and I bought a new monitor. I just have to get it set up with another operating position. So that's the main reason why I don't operate it, because I can come over here on this station and swap from web SDRs, and I can't do that at the other operating position. So with the conditions being bad here in the mornings, I haven't, I need web SDR most of the time, so I'm not able to use that there, so that's why I haven't been using it. Anyway, good morning to you, Dean, Brown, Glenn, George, Chris, good morning to you, AJ1G, just checking in. Jeep, good morning to you. Everyone's fairly light here, except for John. VY2WW is the channel master at the QTH with a 20 over S9 signal here this morning. 7-3, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay warm. It's 33.7 degrees here in Chester, and we'll talk to you guys hopefully next weekend. So with that, it goes over to W3EMD. Goes over to you, Buzz, and good morning to you. W3EMD in the old military radio net, 7-3 from W3MMR.
W3EMD, go ahead. Okay, Buzz, I am copying you fine. I've got copy in here. I'm just trying to remember who gets it next. I think it's Jeep, K3BG. W3AMD turned it over to you, Jeep. Are you there? Yeah, very, very good copy here, Jake. 410 to 15 over at the moment. Let me give it back to Ted there just to check in on net control. W3PWW, VY2WW, doing the relay duties. You copy me, Ted? Yeah, HJK, go ahead. Who's talking? Okay, WB2HJKVY2WW. He just wished everybody a good morning. He said I'm the only one he's copying at the moment. So over to Chris, AJ1G, if you can hear me, VY2WW. Not hearing Chris.
Edward Island coming in crystal clear connection to Manchester, New Hampshire this morning, running the ART-13. Just want to say good morning to everyone. W3PWW from WU2D. Sugar Bob.
Bob, did you see what's on with the top? Sunrise. So good morning. Great signal. Wow. Just everybody coming in very well this morning into Minneapolis. So again, Nate on and the HRO 60 and the high inverted gauge. W3PWW.
This is Terry PFI.
You got a gigantic signal up here in Vermont, Jeep. Very nice.
On Ted, he wanted to sing it. That's Terry W2PFY in upstate New York in the Adirondacks. Anyway, yeah, interesting net today, Ted. I'll see you guys next week. I'm 3PWW, 2WW.
Thanks for your relays, John. The propagation switch just got thrown.
Seven 3 guys. Let me make sure I got it. 7-3, Ted and John. Thanks for the relays this morning, man. I know it can get pretty hectic, but I guess being so far away up there in PIE or PEI, excuse me, you definitely have the best location for this time in the morning. So anyway, 7-3 to you, John. Have a great weekend, and Jeep and Buzz and Chris and Glenn and Craig and everyone else. Everyone just shot up here at my receiver too. Now that the sun's starting to kind of make its way up, and I see some color in the sky. So anyway, 7-3 guys. Have a great weekend. This is W3 MMR, Southeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, good morning, Terry. AJ1G, finally hearing people.
7-3, Ted. See you tomorrow evening. KK1K, clear.
Good morning, Dino. Great signal now.
Hey, Brown, you sound great. KK1K.
Yeah, good morning to you, Chris, and good morning to you, Perry. And also from me, John, thank you very much for the relay. That worked. But very, very interesting.
Yeah, take care, Brown. Sorry if I didn't mean to leave you out. 7-3 to you as well, and Chris and everybody. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Got to get off here and get ready for work. 7-3, W3 MMR.
Yeah, good morning, Terry. AJ1G. Brown, I got a question for you.